So the gospel that is gaining momentum is for blocking anyone born between 1940 and 70 from voting. I want it to be very voluntary. I want you to reason out with your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, your relatives, your even your bosses. I want you to reason out with them that they have the propensity, they are predisposed to making poor electoral choices. And we have proven time and time again that the country was left to them, was bequeathed to them by the colonialists for the last 60 years. What do these guys do once they get to the ballot? But their heads are stuffed with a lot of garbage, with a lot of toxicity, which they gain from listening to mainstream media, from listening to vernacular radio, from reading the media, from consuming content from corrupt clergy. So every other 5 years, they wait for 5 years, they suffer. Like now they've already started baying for the blood of William Ruto. They are saying we are going to remove him, but it's never about who they are electing. It's about settling scores which have emanated from their initial decision of poor electoral choices. So these guys cannot be helped. Again, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So these guys need to be as far away from the election table as possible, and it has to be voluntary. You have to talk to them and tell them, now you are growing old, you're getting old. You are needing medical care, you are needing food, you are needing sustenance, and we are the ones who are young enough to provide that for you. But we cannot provide that for you when you keep on electing this cycle of thugs, this crop of despots that you're familiar with. So you tell them, sit at home, we are going to elect from you, because now we want to overhaul everyone from the presidency to the MCA. We want to overhaul. But because I was looking at another young TikToker, and he was saying he's looking for a guy who scammed the mom and sold her a very dubious cell phone worth 20,000, but it's an unknown phone. But the line that he used to sell her that phone was, this phone, you're going to be getting Pastor Nganga live, everything you're going to be, and she bought. You understand? Now, can you trust such a person who is dangled, or who is induced with such a fictitious, trajectory of words? Can you trust them to elect and to vote wisely and to elect the right people? No, because they have proven time and time again that as they are getting older, they are getting dumber. It's almost like we are having reverse evolution in Kenya, but it's with the crop of boomers. Remember, this is a global phenomenon. You're seeing the boomers now are ready to risk a world war because they are done. They've finished. We've lived our lives. Let's die. Let's kill the next generation. That's their mentality. This is boomers. They look at the ones in Kenya. What have they bequeathed to us? They used to look that we don't need playgrounds, because then they played. Then they had all the social amenities. They had all the social halls in Eastlands, in your respective towns. They had stadiums. Now we no longer need these ones. We played. We lived the best lives as we were young. So what do? Let's kata these plots of sale. You get a broker and as user. Like now you're seeing schools, places which have been demarcated as schools. I was seeing there's a hotel on Kiambu Road, somebody saying that it was supposed to be a school and now it was sold. This is their thinking. This is boomers. They are stupid. Your parents, your grandparents, that is, and then because they are elevated in churches, the more you have money and the more corruptly acquired money that you have, the more you are praised, the more you are worshipped. The churches love you. The pastors, wachungaji, they'll always be in your house every evening, giving you cock and bull stories just to extract that money. You see, so we cannot then leave the responsibility of elections to this misguided lot. We have to get rid of them, and we have to ensure. I was speaking with somebody today, and they were saying, it's not me, it's not my words, that we should lock the houses on election day, we should hide their IDs. It's not me. I'm telling you, it's my friend who was suggesting that. But I told them no. I told them this has to be voluntary. You can reason out with them. I know it's very hard to reason out with people who have always been shown that they are right. But it's you young people who have spoiled them. You have told them that everything that comes out of their mouth is wisdom. And these days we have discovered that age is no longer a measure of wisdom. So you young people, it's you to move ahead and, and tell your parents and your grandparents that, please, if you want us to take care of you, if you don't want me to take you to the GAITHO home for the aged, if you don't want me to take you there where you'll be caned, you listen to me, stay at home, don't go and vote, because we need a fresh, we need a fresh start, but we can't get a fresh start with these old bastards. You look at all the towns, they've degraded, they've degenerated, because these guys, when they go and vote, and we have determined that the young people are the majority, because if 8 million Kenyans boycotted elections, another 4 million boycotted to register. Now, what everyone has been saying that, oh, Ruto will still, look, you can steal small numbers. You can steal 500,000, 800, you can steal those ones. But once it's over 5 million, it's impossible to steal. Even the Electoral Commission will tell you, no, but they have already sold you. That's how they get you away from voting. They have already sold you the lie of voter apathy, about they use violence. They use all sorts of mind control schemes to get you not to vote. But now you need to come out in there was somebody who once said in large numbers and large quantities. I don't know who was that politician. You need to turn out, and then you need to ensure that your parents and grandparents don't vote at all. We don't need their help. You need to tell them that we don't need your help, even though you have money. Chances are, once you get to that voting booth, you're going to revert to your factory settings, and your factory settings is toxicity, is a lot of rubbish pumped in your head over time. And once it gets to that period of elections, it's almost like a switch. Somebody controls it, and then you see somebody who has suffered for the last 5 years suddenly starting to reason like a chokora. These are your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunties. We don't want anyone, preferably over 50, voting. And it's not about the age, it's about the era which they were raised in. These boomers have no value for humanity. You see how they cut trees. You see how they build roads, cutting corners and everything. You've seen how they've left junkyards of infrastructure in the country, just because they don't like sports, just because they don't see sports, then they view importation now. They killed all the manufacturing, and then now they've reduced to importers. And then the same idiots who are enduring the bad, the negative, the harmful effects of the collapsed manufacturing industries and agriculture and everything, they are there praising the importers. They are there praising the tenderpreneurs. You see, they can't be helped, because this is a mutated strain of Stockholm syndrome, where they constantly have affection towards their oppressors. So your parents and your grandparents, they are stupid because of the era they were born in, because they found everything functional. They used to come to Nairobi with only an ID. They get a job. They do what? Did they have conversations about politics? No. Did they talk about good governance? No. Why were they still nostalgic about the Uhuru Kenyatta presidency? Because they assumed that Jomo Kenyatta was a brilliant president, yet they didn't take time, like we are doing right now, to say that Jomo Kenyatta never launched or built any project. He was just going to rename projects which had been done by the colonialists. You understand? It's the same thing that Ruto is doing today. Yeah, Ruto is just going to rename, to rebrand. He goes for a church service. He goes here, I don't know what. He's in Kericho Green Stadium. You saw there was death in Kericho Green Stadium. Samson Cherargei has been very consistent in criticizing Ababu Namwamba. Ababu Namwamba apparently was a supervising minister for preparing that facility for the National Day celebration. And we have defended Ababu Namwamba before, but now it's becoming too much. When people die, it's becoming too much, man. So we have said, Cherargei, continue with the show. Ababu Namwamba was left. The first thing, they removed arts and culture and whatever, they took it to Aisha Jumwa, and then they left him with sports because of all the bad publicity he was getting with the influencers at the time. But now I've seen Cherargei is very consistent. Go ahead, man. So these are guys who don't even value, things like sports. And because the generation of boomers never had these conversations that we are having, we are calling the president out for rewinding projects which had been launched earlier. And now the boomers never had these conversations about Jomo Kenyatta, which is why they thought that the Kenyatta era was prosperous. No, Kenyatta was a thief, just like the son came to steal 4 trillion Kenya shillings. You understand? So we are having the conversations They never had the conversations. They absconded or they squandered that opportunity to have conversations because they were carried away by euphoria and propaganda. So as we are telling the old generation of boomers, you are idiots, you're stupid, we don't want you to vote, we don't need your help. Please stay at home on election day 2027, please.